Welcome, bloodsuckers, to Be Kind to Your Neighbors, a narrative horror podcast set in the world of Vampire: The Requiem. Due to adult language and violent nature of the stories told, this podcast is rated M for mature, and we strongly encourage listener discretion.
Episode 5, Pit Fallouts. I'm always gonna come out on top, baby. That's a strange thing to say. Mainly 'cause there's only two kinds of things with a top, and that's a circus tent or the food chain. Problem with the food chain is it's more of a circle, like a chain gang or the Ouroboros world snake, ever devouring its own tail. Even the top predator of any ecosystem's gonna be eaten by either humans, parasites, or time. And since vampires get eaten by none of those, the circle of life is more like a prison, and we're the wardens. Except I have problems with authority figures. So when Devon says, I'm always gonna come out on top, I think he's talking about a career in the circus. He'd be a good juggler. I'm Murray. Hi. When I got back from Vietnam, a lifetime ago, I got strung out, man. Couldn't hold down a job 'cause of the drugs I needed just to sleep. Couldn't hold down my brain long enough to keep pace with the sheep that hadn't seen what I'd seen, lost what I'd lost. I hated the man in Washington so much. So I couldn't say no to the chance of being my own boss. So when I enlisted in the Army of the Damned, hoping to climb the ranks, be my own master again, at least in my own head. So with the exception of some of my thoughts, dreams, and the occasional missing chunks of time, I'm pretty much in control. Last night, Devon left me to speak with the prince. We had a civil disagreement, which led to about 20 of our people getting skewered by either claw, spear, or the shadows themselves. Now, I might not be able to take a hint, but I could take a hit. When I came to, I was here in the pit. It was me and some sanitation worker wielding a chainsaw. We had a civil disagreement, which stayed civil, just ended up with him eating the chainsaw. I hope he's okay. Right now, it looks like Devon and I are gonna hold another disagreement with something even more civil. He's being really quiet right now and not telling me why, which is why I say he's being really quiet. The wooden doors at the other end of the pit lurch forward, and the crowd of kindred cheer. They toss garbage and solo cups filled with piss down on us. Devon takes a chunk of loose brick to the shoulder, and I take a handful of mud to the side of the face. Feels like I'm back in Nam, when they'd have us U.S. Marines fight each other in public. Lost a lot of good men that way. Lost a lot more Viet Cong the day I snapped. They had us dig a mass grave for all of us that day before. Turned out it came in handy. All that was left to do after that was reflect on what had been done. The rest of us, we took the dead man in sheets to the river flank, and it was deep enough to dive. I put my feet in the water, put my head in the water, put my soul in the water, and just left it there to float away. When the doors are forced open, I'm scrambling to find a weapon. A dude at least 7 feet tall, and I shit you not, looks exactly like a minotaur, steps out from behind the newly busted open doors. He's got the bull's head, the gold nose ring, the hoofed feet, and he's wielding a yield sign like a sharpened battle axe. He's got these huge chains and manacles connecting his hands together, and tattoos of interlocking circles, squares, and skulls all over his chest and arms. He sizes us up with his one good eye, and then charges us. Devon, as usual, moves forward to meet the bull man head on. He fakes, sliding feet first to trip the bastard. Bull man's too beefy, but Devon gets a quick cut from behind with the punching blades in his hand. It's weird, but those knives look real familiar. Bullman kicks Devon hard in the face. With his back turned, it's easy for me to jump on him from behind and steer him with the horns. I immediately regret my decision when the bull falls backward on purpose, pretty much squashing me. He rolls off me to chase Devon some more. The two of them exchange some jabs until Devon gets him good in the neck with his stumpy knives. Devon goes to high kick, to show off. He always does, and the bull uppercuts him in the crotch with the wide part of the yield sign. I hear the impact over the joyous rage from the crowd. When Devon lands, he's got one hand over his freshly sliced dangly parts and his entire fist in his mouth, like he's trying to hold back the pain that every man in the stadium must have felt. He doesn't want to scream, doesn't want to roar, but every man deserves to be heard. Every single one of us. Bullman turns to face me, blood oozing slowly down his chest, staining thick rivulets in the dark brown hair of his shoulders. I look into his eye and I ask him, in the Ventru voice, to obey the traffic sign he's holding. He says he can't, not that he won't. I ask him what he needs to be free. He slams his fist against his chest, and I see pretty clearly what I have to do. But I have to get close. I can command men very well, animals a little, so maybe if I think between the two, I can work with Bull Durham here. I tell him to stop. He pauses, scrapes the ground, and swings his traffic sign wide. I catch it between my hands, but still slide a good 6 feet cause of the momentum behind it. He's bloodied up my hands, but that's what I need. When I look back, I am missing a lot of time. Maybe it's the drugs I did as a kid. Maybe it's the harder drugs I did as an adult. Maybe it's the drugs I pump into my preferred blood dolls. Or maybe it's the tainted blood that embraced me. I don't recall who I was mad at when I signed up for the war. I don't remember why I attacked my sire, or why I didn't stop inhaling him after his blood was all gone, or why I gulped down his soul to gain some of his clarity. Maybe he wasn't teaching me things fast enough. Maybe I wasn't taking things slowly enough. I think I just wanted to know how he commanded doors and walls and bridges to open whenever he asked. I know I'm a lord. I think it's my duty to command, but sometimes, to win a war, you have to step off the chain of command. Look at the food pyramid from above. Break the cycle. Make the Ouroboros bite down. I don't remember when I met Devon. I think he's just always been around me. I don't remember why I shoved him under the pier a few years back. I know I was just surprised when he came back, mainly because I forgot I'd left him there. I want to be charismatic like Devon, and I want to learn quickly. So here I am, locking horns with the stallion and failing to hold my head up. I go back again. I grab for the shackles at his wrists, and I willingly bleed onto them. He swings his head wide, hoping to gore my face with his horns. I tell the iron around his wrists to break, and they obey. The manacles hit the ground hard. The Minotaur's eyes go from solid white to having a human pupil and blue iris. He steps back from our locked arms, and I start to see a human face fade over his beastly features, like a hologram coming to life. The no longer bull man runs and pulls open the wooden door again, and I can see vines and bushes and a soft twilight instead of the sewer tunnel he emerged from. Oddly enough, when Devon pulls the yield sign out of my back, not sure when it got there either. The crowd is booing. I guess we weren't supposed to win. Devon, the asshat, decides to blow a kiss to the announcer lady and taunt the crowd. Only this shitbag, my partner, could turn verbal public hate into more ego. Must be alchemical. Or delusional. The announcer lady, the one in black who dropped me last night after my stand against the prince, leaps down into the pit to join us. She throws off her cloak, tears off her corset like Hulk Hogan, and... Sometimes life is weird in a funny way. Sometimes it's funny in a weird way. Sometimes it's funny, 'cause you'll be staring down the sink drain and end up in a fetal position on the bathroom floor, 'cause you recognize that darkness is connected to every other kind of darkness, and those darknesses, as a concept, are ever growing and descending from a Promethean dimension beyond time and space, and that they're looking back. Sometimes you'll see a squirrel and forget what it's called until it politely reminds you. The fact that I get to say, the lady jumped down and transformed into a giant black-furred wolf, in all seriousness, is neither funny nor weird to me anymore. It's just proof that I need new friends. Devon and I are standing side by side, which is nice. He motions for me to step back. He doesn't run forward. He just crouches and, for I think the first time since I've seen him tonight, opens his mouth. A torrent of misty shadows pours from his mouth and swoops into the open jaws of the wolf. The wolf lady collapses in mid-jump almost immediately. All I can say is, "Holy shit, dude." Devon turns back to me and winks. Black mist is leaking out of its mouth and nose like a stage fog machine, and Devon simply says, "Go get her, girl." The wolf runs back the way it came, leaping to the announcer stand and running back into the tunnels beneath the pit. Devon turns to me and says, "You coming or what, sunshine?" I don't know how, but the son of a bitch pulled it off. It's a hard climb out of the pit, but we make it to the street, trying to find an alley to slip into. When we're ducked behind a dumpster by a Korean barbecue joint, I slam Devon against the wall. "What the hell have you done?" "Made some new friends while you were gone. You know how damn social I am." "You were possessed by a Strix. You let them in. I warned you about them. You know what they do to us." "Strange times, stranger bedfellows. Look, I wasn't possessed, and it needed a shadowy place to hide, and the skinny jeans don't drop fast enough, so don't shoot the messenger, okay? Also, don't know if you noticed, but you're welcome." I push him again. This time he pushes back. "Murray, listen, the higher-ups in the Circle of the Crone enslaved the Strix. That's how they got so powerful. They don't care about ruling, just thinning our ranks. And any minute now, this town's gonna be buried in ghost owl pellets. So right now, we find Stephanie and Sidra, and we get the hell out of Dodge." "You did all this just to save me?" "Right now, chalk it under happy accident. But, I mean, it is good to see you." He looks at his phone. "Union Street by the overpass. All right, let's go, Murray." Someone yells at us from the sidewalk, and I hear the click of a switchblade. Murray tells him to come. I ask if he'll kindly stab himself in the neck, and the two of us stock up. Sometimes the city just provides, you know? It's so generous. Murray doesn't follow, though, when I step onto the sidewalk. He stands there, quiet. "We shouldn't go with Sidra," he says. "I just remembered something." "We don't have time for this." Down the street, multiple car alarms are blaring, and a crowd of Asian teenagers dash toward the subways. One of us, a mouth open and smeared like a hand that just played rock, paper, scissors with a blender, races after them, full-on roaring. Oh shit, breach level 3. Masquerade triage dictates we stop this immediately, but I have a feeling he's not the only pup off the leash right now. Maybe it's already begun. "Let's go, damn it!" Devon yells, grabbing for my wrist. Memories caught up with me, buddy. That doggone gangrel wasn't the one who dropped me last night. Sidra attacked me from behind.
I swear to Nod, Murray, domination is completely wasted on you. Look, we all know she's with the crone, dude, but she's helping us escape.
Then she's doing a pretty shitty job, buddy.
I don't have time for a revelation about coterie loyalties. Yes, I get that she's pro-Kadir, but Sidra saved me from the biker guy last night. She covered me in the broom closet so I wouldn't see the sun. She also knew Murray was out here rather than permanently dead. She just knew that. She knew about that. I looked down at the shredded mess of my hand, now free from the kitchen knives. Maybe she doesn't even have Steph. Maybe she's just bringing in reinforcements to chase us down. Oh shit, I say. Then we gotta get on a train. We gotta head east into Long Island. Maybe find a way south across the water. Get out of the New York area. Maybe call some of your people in Philly. Fuck, where do we even go? Murray agrees with me about heading east into Long Island. There's no way even a crazed vampire would shut down the LIRR, even during a blood hunt. No one, save for the state governor, is that deranged and evil. But can we abandon Sidra if she's really on our side? Or shake her if she's not? I grab the Malkov love child of Lieutenant Dan and Spartacus, and we slink our way up the avenue. There's an overpass leading down to the train tracks of the LIRR. My mind is a mess. Who the hell do I even trust? See, Murray founded the Cryptics because he wanted to stay under the radar. Lounge around in the kind of homeless decadence that Williamsburg wears on its fair trade sleeve. No drama, no conflict, no one telling us what to do. Then, for some reason, he abandons that to stand against an elder older than the Constitution and starts preaching its principles. Whatever happened to fuck the man, fuck the system, Murray? What if he purposefully made this worse for me? What if Murray provoked the crone in order to thin the ranks of the Carthians? If he was the eldest left, he'd be able to lead the Covenant easily. He's got the street cred, not to mention my majesty to help him.
Devon's pacing along the tracks, yet somehow keeping an eye on me. I've seen animals caged like this a lot before. I've seen U.S. Marines caged up like this before. I've watched big cats held by other lords. They say watching withdrawal on the outside doubles the enjoyment. Like the beast is trapped in the glass and concrete box, not to mention its own head, only making the box seem merciful by comparison. I don't think Devon thinks I'm on his side anymore, which is easy to say because loyalty in war is more of a spectrum, or specks in a snow globe. Familial, clan, covenant, city, religious loyalties. All these directions pulling a man's actions and considerations. Devon left me to die at the hands of the prince. That's bad. But he tracked me down and helped me out of the pit. I think that's good. But he's wearing that jacket with the Ride the Lightning album cover on it. That just looks bad, but it doesn't make him bad. He's still hung up thinking that Sidra is still his ally. She may be our friend, but she's not our ally. And I don't know if I should keep using the word our when thinking out loud.
Murray,
Devon says.
You just said all of that out loud, do you know that?
Did I? I say.
Did you what? I ask.
Did I just say all that out loud?
What the hell are you talking about? I say. He shrugs. I keep pacing. God damn it, Murray. The one yellow light gets shadowed out as Sidra shimmies down the 20 feet of masonry to meet us. Blood calls to blood. She must have saved some of my blood to track me. How much Kruic sorcery does she know? Enough to guarantee herself a cushy position within the shadow now that they're in power? How much do I really know about her? She walks toward us, alone, hands open and down by her waist to prove she's unarmed. She doesn't trust me anymore. I think that hurts the most. I hear Murray's knuckle cracks as he forms a fist. Sidra gets maybe 10 feet from us.
You went back for Murray, but you weren't going to wait for me?
I don't know what to tell you, kiddo. Nothing about the last 2 nights is even adding up. Murray says you attacked him and delivered him to Kadir. Is he wrong?
You ran away and left us both in the cavern.
Shit, they're on either side of me. They're gonna double team me. Sidra's dirty hair separates long enough for me to see her dark eyes. Thick blood trickles down, staining her cheeks like streaks of war paint. She's crying.
I did it for you.
Did what exactly? That's when I notice the second figure standing behind Sidra, hiding in her silhouette. Taller than her. More lithe. A curly patch of dreadlocks snaking over its shoulders. She steps into the light, and I'm about to jump into her arms until my beast senses something dreadful. Stephanie is corpse pale, bordering on the gray that gives way to green. Just standing close to her is clenching my guts. Nosferatu aura. Christ, no!
Hey, babe. I missed you too.
How dare you! I yell at Sidra, who shrinks behind Stephanie. She was mine to embrace. You don't get to take that from me! Stephanie walks toward me.
Shh. Let's not fight, okay? Look, it's still me. I'm still me. See? Gang's all back together. Let's go be bad.
Don't you even talk to me! All that love I had for her is staining black as tar. All the hate I feel for Sidra right now is ringing the dinner bell for my beast, and I hear it sniff and growl in my ear. I love, I hate, I love, I hate, I need, I reach out, I claw. I've never needed to bend back over my own heart and chew it out, circling around the drain of despair of finally seeing Stephanie again. But not like this. Fuck, man, I should have written lyrics for The Cure. The 4 of us are still. Then Steph and Sidra are lit by the lights of an oncoming train. We'll have to settle this in Ronkonkoma. Murray and I jump onto the train, which is a lot easier than I'm used to. It's only when Steph and Sidra vanish that I realize the train is already slowing down. But we're nowhere near a station. The metal squeals against the tracks, and we almost lose our grip as it clacks to a halt. The train sits in the middle of the track. The doors open, and I'm puffed by the rush of air conditioning, but it's tainted with something. Rot. The mildew of the back room of a used bookstore. A tall, bald man in a trench coat jumps down onto the tracks. His feet make no sound under the loose gravel surrounding us. I notice the rot patches atop his head, blossoms of lichen, and that one of his arms is twisted in a thin stub pressed against his chest, tipped with some hideous claw. He narrows these solid black eyes at Murray and me, and my leg pulls itself back without my permission, as if my own blood is trying to escape. He calls us gentlemen in a thick, maybe Slavic accent. He says the prince would like to speak with us personally, and the scar running up his head slightly quivers as he speaks. Murray asks how I'd like to go 4 for 4 tonight. I say the first thing that comes to mind. You coming or what, sunshine?
Be Kind to Your Neighbors is part of the Chroniclers of Darkness. It is written by Uncle Yo and produced by Jimmy Lin. Original music produced by Jimmy Lin. Excerpts from the album Hexed used with permission from Anders Manga. Special thanks, as always, to White Wolf Publishing and Onyx Path Publishing for giving us a whole new world of darkness in which to manifest. Comments, questions, blood dolls for rent, Leave a like, repost, or bloody handprint from the last intern we sent to the Lancea Sanctum on our Facebook page at facebook.com/UncleYo. This podcast is supported by patrons like you at patreon.com/UncleYo. Game on, include everyone, and remember that death is damned near optional. Catch you next week.